Now, before we even start this chat, and I'm sure you get asked this in every chat, so I apologize, but since this is the first time we're talking, do you want to be called Rory or Rag and Bone Man?
Oh, Rory's good. Rory's good.
All right. And I don't want to make this awkward before we start as well, but I have been watching all of your acoustic performances on loop because your voice is just so amazing.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, man.
I was telling Sean that he has to deep dive all of your acoustics, especially you walking around the observatory just singing Lovers in a Past Life.
Yeah.
So amazing. Well, Rory, Rag and Bone Man, welcome to America's Dance 30 for the first time.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
It is great finally meeting you, and congratulations on Lovers in a Past Life with Calvin Harris, not only being #1 on America's Dance 30 and the Media Base chart, but also on the Billboard chart, which is incredible.
Come on. That's amazing.
That's awesome. Amazing. Now, I know you've had #1s before with your own music, but is this your first #1 on the U.S. chart? A Giant went #1 on the Billboard chart, didn't it?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
It's probably better that way. As an artist, just stick to making the music and let the other people worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about numbers.
Exactly. Now, I can't wait to find out how this smash was born, especially since, like I said, this isn't your first time working with Calvin. But before we talk about that, let's get to know Rory a little better with Finky's firsts.
Okay.
I love finding out the origin story of artists. I don't know if this is true. Hashtag Wikipedia. Were you expelled in school as a kid?
Yes.
For what?
I think I got a bit too handsy with somebody, so yeah. I don't do that anymore, though. I'm lovable. Don't worry.
Yes, you are. Well, I know you were emceeing at a really young age, but when you were growing up, was music the first thing you wanted to get into, or was there something else you wanted to be?
Well, I mean, I always wanted to play basketball when I was a kid, when I was super young, but then I realized I wasn't that good. So.
Now, obviously, I can't get a good idea, but how tall are you in real life?
I'm 6'6".
Okay, so you definitely could play basketball.
Yeah.
So what made you parlay into music?
You know what? I grew up in a very musical household. My mum and dad were both into music. My dad always played guitar. My mum loved to sing around the house. So it was a very musical household. It would be hard not to be into music growing up, you know, the way I did.
And when was the first moment that you realized that you had such an amazing voice?
I remember watching a show in the UK called Later with Jules Holland. It was people playing live, you know, on this show. And I remember hearing D'Angelo and like Jill Scott and Angie Stone for the first time. And I went out and bought those records, and I think I just sung along to these records, and I was like, you know what? I don't sound too bad, you know.
And is it true? Well, I mean, I know it's true because I heard you talking about it on an interview that you didn't even realize it until other people started telling you how amazing your voice is.
It was the reaction that I got from other people that made me want to do it more. You know, I kind of grew up listening to a lot of blues and jazz and soul music, and we used to go to like an open mic kind of jam night where people would get up and play, and anybody's welcome to come and join in and stuff. And I would go, and at first I was kind of shy, not getting up, but when I got the courage to do it, it was people's faces were like, "Bro, I did not know you could sing like that." And then it gives you confidence and it makes you feel good. So automatically I was like, I want to do that again. I want to do it again, you know?
Absolutely, especially since they always say that we don't even sound like ourselves when we hear ourselves back. So absolutely. Now, as discussed, Rag and Bone Man isn't your real name, but when you were deciding on an artist's name, was Rag and Bone Man the first name you were going to go with, or were there other names you were considering?
Well, when I was at MC, I basically picked my favorite X-Men character. So I was going to be MC Colossus. That was going to be my first one, which isn't too bad. It sounds like a sort of late 80s rap name.
Right.
You know, those MC Colossus. And then Rag and Bone Man sounded like a blues name to me because, you know, like Howlin' Wolf and Sonny Boy Williamson, all them names. I thought Rag and Bone Man sounded kind of like a blues name. And then it just stuck after I started using it. And then yeah, people didn't forget it. So
I definitely think it was a good choice going with that one. Now, you've had multiple #1 albums, and you've got even more new music coming out very soon. But do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Wow. Technically, the first song I ever wrote was when I was at school, and they had an anti-drugs campaign at my school, and you had to write a rap song for it. And that was me and my mate Chris. We were like 13 years old. And yeah, so that was technically the first song that I wrote.
Do you remember how the jingle went?
I do. And it sounded like, I don't know what we were listening to at the time, but it sounded like Grandmaster Melly Mel or something. It was like in an American accent, I might add. I was walking through the hood late one night, and a brother came up and he gave me a fright. He said, "You owe me money for the hat you bought. When I sold it to you, I nearly got caught. Don't be mad, don't be sad, don't take drugs, they're really bad." That was what it was. Yeah.
That is epic. That would totally make me not want to do drugs. That's so awesome. Now, you are in the middle of your summer world tour now, which is so incredible. But do you remember the first time you ever performed on stage?
I think, it was like the last year at school, and I performed. Interestingly enough, my producer now, Mark Crew, me and him were in a band at school together, and we played Green Day at like a Leavers Assembly or something. It was three of us, and we played Green Day, Hitching a Ride from the album Dookie, I think. That's
incredible, and you've just brought him along for this amazing adventure with you?
Well, he went ahead and he was like producing records, and then we just somehow found each other again. We're like, "Oh, you're making music too. We should probably do that together."
That is a perfect arrangement. Now, obviously, you've got a lot of ink, but do you remember your first tattoo?
My first tattoo is this. You can see it. There's like this guy here who's meant to be like a Native American figure, but actually looks more like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
What happened?
Or I kind of Gene Simmons from Kiss, or like Brandon Lee from The Crow. The guy that was tattooing me was not good.
That sucks. So my first one was an armband, and it's a tribal armband, and it was like when I was 50 pounds less. And so it's like really thick, horrible tattoo.
Wow.
Yeah, I would show you, but we don't need that. Now, finally, in honor of Lovers in a Past Life, going #1, it's got the lyrics, "Distance only ever makes the heart grow stronger." But what's the first thing that makes Rory's heart grow stronger?
Probably my kids, man. Like, I spend a lot of time away from home, and, you know, I have two small children, 6 and 7. And you know, when I have been away for a long time and I get home to see them, I love being on stage, but that's the feeling, you know, right there.
I totally get it. I don't have any kids, but I've got one fur child. It's the same way. When I'm gone off work and I come home, oh my God, what an amazing feeling. Well, let's talk about this smash. How was Lovers in a Past Life born with Calvin?
So, like, the song really was written as a ballad in this studio right here, and I kind of sat on it and was deciding what songs to put on the album that's coming, later on this year. And I kept listening to it, and there was something about it. It was like it hasn't reached its full potential as a song. And so I got in touch with my guy Julian at Columbia and was like, Julian, this needs something else. This needs to be like house pace. This needs to be a dance song. I can hear it being a dance song. Who do you think we can get to do this? And his reply was like, well, we did one with Calvin before and it was really good. So maybe we should try that again. That was literally his words. So so we sent it to Calvin, and Calvin was like, "Yes, absolutely," because I know that he likes just getting sent, a song that's already kind of formed. It doesn't really need work. It just needs his production to turn it into, a Calvin Harris thing. So I just gave him the song, and he worked on it. We went back in together and kind of re-record the vocal because it was sped up so much it sounded kind of crazy, and that's all she wrote, man.
You mentioned that you sat on it for a while. How long ago did you write it?
Maybe like a year before it got made.
Gotcha.
It was just one of those ones. I sometimes you just don't know what to do with a song when it's not right. So it was just, it took that long for me to figure it out.
Well, something I love to find out about songs is how many different V's there are from when you start working on it, all the tweaking that goes on to when you finally master it and put it out. Do you know what the final V was of Lovers in a Past Life?
I think there was only like 3 versions, maybe one more, because there was like a version that I just recorded to like a voice note version. And then there was a piano version, and then there was like his first version, and then he went back and just put everything on it, and it came out this way.
Well, like I mentioned, the acoustic stripped down version is so amazing.
Yeah, we sort of came up with that after it came out. We were like, oh, we got to do something a bit more smooth, for the people that are like my fans, I know, are soul music fans, and they want to hear something like that. So, yeah, I love it. The horns, the kind of, the electric piano and stuff. Yeah, it's a cool version, man.
So incredible. Now, how did you get together with Calvin for Giants?
Well, Giant was kind of very much, it's kind of similar story, but the song was actually written in 2015. And then it didn't come out until 2018, late 2018, maybe early 19. I can't remember exactly. So that song actually, it was meant to go on my first record, Human, my first album. But I couldn't get the production right. And it really didn't sound great. I knew there was something special about the hook, and it was in some way would make it out there, but it just sat on my computer for like 3 years, and no one really knew what to do with it. And then and I can't really take credit for it, because it was someone else at my record label sent it to Calvin, and then I'd never met Calvin before, and one day I just got a message on my Twitter messages, and it was like, do you want to hear what I've done to Giant? And I was like, yes, I would like to hear what you've done to Giant, please. And honestly, prior to that, I had no involvement with like dance music, other than, early days I did some jungle and stuff and a bit of drum and bass, but no involvement with like house music and that style of dance music. So I wasn't really sure. I was like, I heard it and I played it to my tour manager, Toby, and he was like, if you don't put this out, you are crazy. If you don't put it out, you're crazy. Because I was ready to go, nah, I'm not sure about this. This is not weird. I was like, I'm not sure that this is my lane. I don't know if I really want to go down this route musically. And he was like, yeah, if you don't put it out, you're absolutely mental. So yeah, we put it out, and then it just became this. I'm glad, I probably owe Toby a couple of beers, because we put the record out, and it just became this like global smash. Like, it was everywhere. Like, far beyond what I ever thought it would do, which is mad.
Yeah, because it's such an amazing song. I mean, I'm glad you finally put it out.
Who knew? Who knew?
Well, congratulations on that. Congratulations on Lovers in a Past Life going #1. Congratulations on the tour and the new music you've got coming up. Rag and Bone Man, Rory, it is so awesome meeting you. Thank you for your time with us on America's Dance 30.
Thank you so much, man. It's great to be on. Thank you.